Hey little chefs!
I get up when you get down to this. Keep cool, but still get loud to this. When it drops, just can't deny. The mic turned off, but I'm amplified, so if you...
For this recipe, you'll need 1½ cups of all-purpose flour, 3/4 of a cup of cocoa powder, 1½ cups of sugar, 1½ teaspoons of baking soda, 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 2 eggs, 3/4 of a cup of warm water, 3 tablespoons of melted butter or vegetable oil, 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk plus 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So this recipe could be considered a one bowl recipe. We're gonna start by taking all of our dries and our mixing bowl and adding them all in. Your flour, your baking soda, baking powder, salt, sugar, and cocoa. I'm using a dark cocoa powder. So just whisk these together just to get the clumps out. Now we're gonna add our wet ingredients. Start with our eggs. 1 and 2. Our buttermilk and vanilla. Our warm water. And my melted butter. Now we're gonna put this on the mixer. Just let it mix until it's all even and we have a batter. So I have my paddle attachment and I'm gonna start on speed 1 so that I don't get covered in my dry ingredients. Once all the dry is wet, crank it up and just mix until it's nice and even. Give your bowl a good scrape just to make sure you get any dry stuck at the bottom. Just give it one more quick whiz around on speed 1. And you're all set. 2 9-inch cake pans. Now we'll take our batter, distribute it evenly into both pans. Into a 350-degree oven and bake them until they're nice and springy. For our frosting, you need 3/4 of a cup of sugar, 3 egg yolks, 4 tablespoons of butter, plus 8 tablespoons of cream cheese, a dash of salt. So to start our frosting, we're going to take our egg yolks, put them right in our mixing bowl with our whisk attachment, and just start whipping these. You want to incorporate a nice amount of air into them. Once the egg yolks have lightened in color, we're going to start to stream in our sugar as we mix. Once our sugar is all added, thick and airy, and at this point we're going to let it mix while we add in our room temperature softened butter and cream cheese. Give your bowl a quick scrape, mix it up. I'm going to make my frosting pink, built-in gel colors. I'm just going to dip a toothpick in, add a little bit onto the whisk attachment, and then mix it in. Once it's all done, looks kind of like that. Just going to refrigerate it until we're all ready to use it. Meanwhile, our cakes are all done. Springs back wherever I touch it. The first step to filling a cake, to chop off the uneven part, take a serrated bread knife. Try and keep your hand really even. As you do it, you want to be constantly swiveling the knife and don't push straight in. Gives you a nice clean cut. And you have snacks. I'm going to flip the cake onto the cake stand, flat part up, and remove the parchment. I want my cake to be 3 layers. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to cut it pretty much in half. Get your knife just a little bit into it and then turn your turntable while just sort of keeping your knife in exactly the same spot. As you go around, once you get back to where you started, you can saw into it a little bit more. Keep moving in slowly. So I've got my first layer all set for frosting, and my frosting is nice and cold. Piping bag, just kind of pull it down over your hand. Take your frosting. I'm going to cut a hole about a 1/2 inch. I'm taking some gum paste flowers that I had left over, some little pink ones. I'm just going to put them right on the top of the cake. Thanks a lot for baking me today. Hope you guys enjoyed my birthday cake, and I'll see you next week.